to wait for. Thank you so much once more. This is Teacher Ben Olepor, Learning Facilitator in Yaka Digital Learning Network. This is an online platform where you can access all the services in regards to education. We have the teachers that will be teaching you online if you are available. We also have the content, that is the notes. If you want the notes, you can have the notes. So that's it. You need to know. So we have a lot of services. You can access the notes. If you want the notes alone, you can access the notes. The whole year you can get around, you can just pay 100,000 and then you get the notes for all subjects for the whole class. And then if you want to be meeting a teacher at least once in a while to consult, ask questions, like that, it's 500,000 per year, as simple as that. So I don't need to waste much of our time there. We need to move further and have a look at what we intend to look at today. Last week, we discussed about sanitation. And we talked about different things. We defined the word sanitation. We also looked at the ways of promoting sanitation. We also looked at the things used to promote sanitation or to keep sanitation. We also looked at the importance of keeping sanitation, why we should keep sanitation. We looked at those reasons why we should keep sanitation. So today, we are not going to repeat that. We are going to look at something new, but related to sanitation. I remember some of you did not attend that lesson. One of them is Shadrach, that I remember did not attend, but a number of you attended. So we are continuing from where we stopped last time. Today, we shall also have an exercise that you will have to write, and then later you will submit it through my email that I will provide to you, and then results will be provided back to you. As I see most of you are interested in sending through WhatsApp, like I see in maths. It's done so, but we'll see and discuss a better way of submitting the assignment. If you prefer that way, it's okay. So last time we discussed about sanitation and all that we discussed, but we don't intend to repeat.
Teacher, we want it on WhatsApp.
Okay, we shall agree later. We shall see. Let's first continue with our learning. So last time we discussed about sanitation. Before we look at what we are supposed to look at today, who can define for us the term sanitation? You can define for us the term sanitation.
Sanitation is the general cleanness of a place.
Good. That was Ruth. Sanitation is the general cleanness of a place where we live. Even though you end there saying sanitation is the general cleanness of our place, full stop, we shall mark it correct. Even though you continue and say sanitation is the general cleanness of a place where we live, it is correct. Other people may prefer to say sanitation is the general cleanness of our environment. As long as you can write that word environment very well, go on and write it very well. So before we move on to the next thing, I would love to ask Shadrach to repeat that definition. What is sanitation? Ruth told us the definition. I have also emphasized. Now I want Shadrach to tell us.
Sanitation is the general cleanness of where we live.
General cleanness of where we live. That's good. Manuela, you're welcome. She has just joined us. So today we are going to look at qualities of a good house. That is what we are going to to look at. Qualities of a good house. This one, all of us know, all of us stay in houses. We are going to discuss this together. Qualities of a good house. We shall be discussing this together. So if you know the answer, inequality. What should a good house have? What should a good house have? You can even refer to your house at home. Please raise up your hand. If you, I want people who raise up their hands. You raise up your hand, I give you the chance. There is a button for raising the hand. You raise up the hand through that button, and then we move on. So Stefan was the first. Please.
I can't see your hand.
Come again. Yes, Stefan.
A good kitchen.
Oh, Stefan is talking about a good kitchen. We are talking about qualities of a good
sitting
house.
room.
A good house.
A good kitchen.
Qualities, okay. Maybe some houses, okay? Some houses have a self-contained and they have a kitchen inside them. Okay, but what I'm talking about is qualities of a good house. What must a good house have? So let's continue. She has talked about it must have a good kitchen. That's according to her. She might be having a kitchen inside the house. So let's move on to Nathan. Nathan?
Yes.
Yes, please. Tell us the quality of a good house.
Kitchen.
When you want to raise your hand, you see where there's reaction? This one.
Yes.
You click.
Yeah.
So raise your hand.
Yes, let's hear from Priska.
I don't
Priska,
understand.
can you share with us what should a good house have?
A good house must have a roof.
Good. A good house must have a strong roof. Every good house has a strong roof. Those are the answers that I need you guys to give. I see Pony is around. You're most welcome. Ruth, you can tell us another quality of a good house.
A good house must have a window.
We didn't hear you well.
A
Shadrach?
good house
Okay.
must have a window.
Good. A good house must have windows. Let's hear from Shadrach. I see your hand up. Okay, Shadrach is not speaking. Let's hear from Pony.
A good house must have a toilet.
Hey, that one, I think that one now, that is a quality of a good home. We shall also look at qualities of a good home. A good home must have toilets or latrines. A good home must have kitchens. A kitchen.
So you unmute.
We shall look at that later. Quality. So look at the qualities of a good home later. First, we are looking at qualities of a good house. And they have told us that a good house should have a roof, a strong roof, which is very correct. Another person has also told us that a good house should have the windows, which is very correct. So let's move on to another person. John, I saw your hand up, but you've lowered it. But I see who, Pony, if you have another answer. Our houses, all of us have houses at home. How is your house at home? What do you have in what does your house have?
No.
What does your house
house must have a bathroom.
That one is the quality of a good home. Let me hear from John. John,
A good house must have a door.
correct. A good house must have a door. Sherry, I see your hand up.
A good house must have a veranda.
That is Ruth has repeated several times, and the answer is correct. A good house must have the veranda. Veranda, which is very, very correct. Nakacho is quiet. I see Arthur. Arthur, can you tell us anyone
A
quality?
good house must have a bed.
Good house must have a bed. Okay, so let's take a look at these qualities. We are going to go through the qualities together. Look at the qualities together. The first one is this. I want someone to read for us this. Someone said this. I want someone to read for us. Let me ask Manuela. Manuela, please read
A
for
good house should have windows.
Come again.
A good house should have windows.
A good house should have windows.
A good house should have windows.
That's correct. Another quality is there. Of course, even in your place, you have this. Doesn't your house have windows? It has. Doesn't it have a door? It has the door. And even other things. So a good house should have doors. A good house should have doors.
A good
Someone talked about this already.
A good house should have a strong roof.
Correct. A good house should have a strong roof. Let's move on. Someone can read for this.
A good house must have a good house should have a good house should have ventilators.
A good house should have ventilators. Please, Pop has just joined us. And who else? I think Pop has just joined us. Please, if you want to speak, please just raise up your hand and then you speak. I want everybody to at least get out of this class when you've spoken something so that you don't forget whatever we have discussed. This is a very wonderful class that I love so much because everyone is participating. I see Nathan, you're welcome. You've just come. You've got us discussing the qualities of a good house. And it is so interesting that everybody knows what a house is. Everybody stays in a house. And we know what a house should have. Some people were telling us that a good house should have the kitchen. But that one now becomes the quality of a good home. A good home should have the kitchen. We shall look at that later. Let's first talk about the qualities of a good house. Let's talk about, and someone has told us the ventilators. Now, here is the problem. Some people may not be knowing what ventilators are. Some people may not be knowing what ventilators are. But at home, you have the ventilators. We have the ventilators. I see John's hand up. John?
A good house should have a strong foundation.
A good house should have a strong foundation. That is what John has told us, and the answer is correct. So I wanted first of all for us to talk about the ventilators. What are ventilators? What are ventilators? What are ventilators? ventilators. Let me see. Your people's hands up. Let me give this chance to Ruth. Yes, Ruth. Ruth is not speaking. Who would love to explain for us the ventilator? Yes, Ruth.
Ventilators are what? The ventilators is a small openings of fresh.
Okay. Ruth is explaining it to us, and the way she's explaining it is correct. I've got the point already. But we have Nathan's hand up. Please, Nathan, tell us.
Ventilators are small windows which make air to come in and come out of the house.
Hey, that's good. He has said that those are small windows. Usually, the best answer that you can use, the best word that you can use, these are just small spaces put above the windows and the doors, above the windows and doors. Those spaces that are put
Ventilators.
above the windows and the doors, those are ventilators. Their work is to take air out, usually, to take air out. And the air that passes through the ventilators is that warm air, warm, less dense air. In P5, we shall look at that very well. That is warm, less dense air. Fresh air, there is what we call fresh air. Fresh air passes through the doors. A fresh air will pass through the door, and also it can pass through the window. Then the warm air, especially carbon dioxide, the one we breathe out. That one is the one that passes through the ventilators. That warm used up air, the one we have finished using, that one passes through the ventilators. Those small openings that sometimes they are bricks, put above the window. Put above the window or doors to allow warm air out of the house. That is, those are the ventilators that we are talking about. So every house must have those ventilators. We have Albert has just joined us. Thank you. We are discussing the qualities of a good house. And we have already mentioned them. We have talked about a good house should have windows. We also said a good house should have doors. We also said a good house should have a strong roof. And then we also went ahead and said a good house should have ventilators. And that is that. You can also the good house. Someone told us that a good house should have a veranda, which is very true. Which is very, very true. So these are some of the qualities that your house at home must have. That house you see at home should have the windows, should have the doors, should have a strong roof so that when wind comes, you're safe. When strong wind comes or strong rain, you're safe. It should have ventilators so that air can enter inside the house and get out of the house. It should have the ventilators. It should also have it should have a good veranda. It should have a veranda so that you can sit in that veranda, and that veranda acts as the foundation. Someone was talking about a strong foundation, as simple. So let's move on to look at the qualities of a good home. People were talking about qualities of a good home, Some people were mentioning it must have a kitchen, what? So let's take a look at what should a good home have. For me, I said a good home should have a kitchen, just as someone told us that a good home should have the kitchen. It's good that, listen, can you listen? Can you listen? Wait until I give you opportunity, then you can speak. It's good that we have people's hands up. Everybody knows what a good house is. Other people can also write in the chat If you're not able to speak, you just type it in the chat. I will see your answer. Meanwhile, let me ask these ones. Janal, you're with us. Please give us one quality of a good home. What must a good home have? Janal? Janal? Okay. Okay, let me give this chance to Nakacha.
A good home should
A good home.
have toilets.
A good home should have toilets or latrines, correct. Another person, Sherry.
A good home should have a good bedroom.
A good home should have a bedroom, correct. I heard there are very many hands. We have his name Tutumani. Tutumani is you can speak. It is your time. Tutu and Mani.
A good home have a toilet.
A good home should have a toilet. The answer is correct. Stefan. Yes, Stefan. Okay, Stefan is not able to speak. Let's move to Joy.
A good home must have a good sitting room.
Should have a sitting room. That one should be the quality of a good house. At least you must have where you can sit, but also a home should also have the sitting room. Okay, let's move on. Other people, there are very many hands. John. What should a good home have? Okay, we have, okay. Manuela, you can also say something. Arthur is also with us.
A good home should have a compound
Should have,
and a dark.
okay, okay. So let's move on. Let's take a look at these qualities, what a good home must have. The first one that we just talked about is a good home should have a kitchen. John, I see your hand, but we are now continuing. Let's continue. This one is here. Who would like to read for us this? Yes, Joy.
A good home must have a bathroom.
Correct. A good home must have a bathroom. Let's move on. I see another person. Sherry.
A good home should have a store.
A good home
Should have a sitting room.
Okay, that's enough. A good home must have a store. This one is going to be read by Manuela. Yes, Manuela.
A good home should have a latrine or toilet.
A good home should have a latrine or a toilet. The next one is going to be read by Stefan. Stefan. There are very many hands up. I will still give you. Yes, Stefan.
A good home must have a rubbish pit.
A good home must have a rubbish pit. Let's hear from Nathan.
A good home should have a plate stand.
Good. A good home must have a plate stand. I like the class so much because it is doing well. Shadrach, you can read for us this.
A good home should have a plate stand.
A plate stand. Another person can read for us the next. If I can choose who. I really want to hear from Arthur, Pop. Those ones have not said. Okay, let me repeat this one. Joy, you can still tell us. Yes, Joy. Yes, Joy. Joy is not speaking. Let me choose another person. Manuela.
A good home should have a well-ventilated house.
A good home should have a well-ventilated house. A well-ventilated house. As simple as that. Just like I know most of your homes are really very, very good homes because I know you have the kitchen, you have the bathroom, you have the store, you have latrines or toilets, you also have rubbish pits or dustbins, you also have the plate stand. Plate stands are in different ways. You can have one at home inside the house. You can also have another one outside. That one is called a drying rack. You can make it locally. It can be of metallic or wooden. After washing your plates, you put them there to dry. Then there are these ones inside the house. You can have them, they can be plastic or wooden. You can also keep your plates there. As simple as that. So these different qualities of a good home. I like the class because you guys are good participants. Now we are going to look at something different, and that is jams. 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 The other day I was trying to tell you about a vector, and then I ended up talking about a jam also. So what is, because when there is poor sanitation, if you're there, you're throwing there leftover food, you're just throwing there anything outside, littering the compound, you realize that if you're defecating outside the compound, like that, you realize that the flies will come. Those flies are called vectors because they carry diseases. They carry germs that cause diseases. So I want us to know what a germ is. What is a germ? Or what are germs? I see 3 hands up. Let me give one person to tell us what. 4 people. Ruth is up. Priska, Manuela, Joy, all of them.
What
Let me give Ruth.
germs are?
Yes. Okay, I think Ruth is off. Let me give Priscilla. What are germs? Not Priscilla, but Priska. Nakachwa. Priska, what are germs? Okay. Manuela.
Germs are tiny living organisms that cause disease.
Very good. Very, very good. I want someone to repeat what Manuela just said. I need someone to repeat what she said. What she said. Nathan, can you repeat that?
A germ is a small living organism that spreads diseases.
A germ does not spread. A germ causes diseases. If it is a vector spreads, then a germ causes. So a vector like a housefly will spread a germ. And then that germ will cause a disease. So when you're giving the meaning of the word germs, simply say germs are living organisms that cause diseases. As simple as that. But it is also very important for you to use the word tiny. If you cannot use the word tiny, simply use the word small. We are going to define the word germs in different ways, in two ways. We shall say germs are small living organisms that cause diseases. Then other people will say germs are tiny living organisms that cause diseases. So it is upon you to choose which one is good for you. You fall in love with one. You can fall in love with the tiny. A germ, of course, if you want to say a germ, you say a germ is a small living organism that causes diseases. If you want to use the word tiny, you cannot say a germ is a tiny living organism that causes diseases. Why I'm emphasizing this? Because even in P4, you're going to learn about it in P4 also, and you learn it again in primary 6, and it will continue coming even up to primary 7. They set it. Even when you go to secondary senior 1, they still teach you about germs and vectors, all those things, until you become, some of you want to be doctors and nurses. You will still be taught those things, germs. So you need to understand what a germ is. The most key word there when we are marking exams, including primary living examination, what we call PLOE, we consider there is always a marking point. There is a marking point. If a child has the word, like most especially cause, if it is defining the word, germs, the keyword that we look for there is the cause. Does the child talk about cause? Small living organism that causes disease. As long as you have that word causes, we give you the mark. We give you the mark, even though you didn't say tiny. And then another person will say, but why do we say always tiny or small? Why do we say small? It's because germs are too small, up to the extent that we cannot see these germs using our naked eyes. We can't see them. We can only see these germs using a microscope. Using a microscope. As simple as that. That is why some people call those germs microscopic organisms. Microscopic organisms. In primary 6, we shall look at that. Microscopic organisms. But we are trying just to build the foundation here so that by the time you reach primary 6, it's not a new word. When someone talks about microscopic organisms, you already know that, oh, those are small living organisms that we can't see using our naked eyes, but we can only see using a microscope. As simple as that. So this is what we need to know, a germ, and so on and so on. So when you go on, you'll get to realize that there are basically 4 different types of germs. 4 different types of germs. However, these days, research indicates that there is another 5th one that they want to include. Those are the worms. The worms, they want to put even worms to be the ones people call worms. They are the tapeworms, like that. All those ones, they also want to include them as the germs of their own. But previously, we have them under protozoa. So just like that. So when you look at the germs, you get to realize that there are 4 different types of germs. We are going to reach there, and we shall talk about those different types of germs. Maybe before that, before we repeat the definition of germs, who can tell us the types of germs? Because we have said that there are 4. There are 4 types of germs. We have said there are 4 types of germs. If you can share with us, if you know any, you can raise up your hand. I see 2 hands up, but I don't know if they are intending to give us the answers. If you're not intending to give us the answer, then you better lower your hand. So we have 4 types of germs. Let me start with Stefan, Dennis, Stefan and Dennis. Come again.
Virus.
Correct. One of the 4 types of germs is virus. Very good answer. Nakachwa?
Bacteria.
Very good. Bacteria. Hope, not hope, but pop. Pop, I saw your hand up. Janal, pop. Janal, pop. Okay, let me give this chance to Ruth. Okay, Ruth is not speaking. I can still give it back to Stefan. Stefan is not speaking. Lastly, John, if you have any other type. We have been told that we have virus, which is very correct. And then the other one is bacteria. You can tell us another one.
Protozoa.
Correct. Protozoa. And then the last one. Sorry?
And Plasmodia. Plasmodia.
Okay. Plasmodia is also another type of germ that causes a certain disease. It is a germ that causes malaria. When we continue, we shall be asking you, name the germ that causes malaria. What causes malaria? You simply say Plasmodia germ. But it is not under the 4 major types. It is not under the 4 major types of fungi. I see another person say the answer, maybe who? John Baptist. Which answer have you just said? Yeah. Okay. Okay. I heard someone talk about fungi. Fungi is also one other type of germs. So let's get back. No, fungi, some people call it fungi, but it is fungi. So this is the right definition of germs. So you can use the word small or you use the word tiny if you want. Then why we put here things? Germs are small living things that cause diseases. Because some children cannot write the word organic. Some children cannot write the word organisms. That's why we say that we can use another simple word. Please mute your microphone if you're not speaking. Let's continue peacefully. So we say that germs are small living things that cause diseases. But when you're answering, choose one word. Don't put there all of everything here, that germs are small living things or organisms that cause diseases. When you do like that, we shall not appreciate. We shall not mark it correct. So choose, say germs are small living things that cause disease. You say like that. But I would encourage everyone to use the word organism, because this is the word that we use in primary 4. We also use it in primary 5, primary 6, primary 7, until university. We use the word organism. So it's better you use the word organism. Germs are small living organisms that cause diseases. As simple as that. That cause diseases. Yeah, that is what I will expect you guys to say. So before we talk about the types of germs, here we have been told that there are 4 types of germs. I first want someone to read for us our definition of germs. What are germs? Yes, John?
Germs are small living things or organisms that cause diseases.
Correct. Someone to read for us again, still the same answer, but without putting their thing. Just say germs are small living organisms, only without thing. Let me have Pony. Pony.
Germs are small organisms that cause diseases.
Small organisms that small living. Also must have the word living, because these germs live. They are not dead. They are living things. So you have to say germs are small living organisms. As simple as that. Lastly, let me hear from Manuela. The same answer. Yes, Manuela. Oh, Sherry.
Germs are small living organisms that cause diseases.
Good. Small living organisms that cause diseases. That's great. So let's move on. Let's move on. We have said that there are 4 types of germs. There are 4 types of germs. The first one that I noted here is bacteria. You also need to know how to spell it very well, because we shall not allow you to spell it in a wrong way. We have bacteria. Another one is viruses. The plural form of writing virus is viruses. There are very many. Even bacteria, when we say bacteria, it means very many. Very many. If it is one, you say bacterium. Bacterium. You add here, you change this A to become U, then you add M to make it bacterium. To make it bacterium. Yes, that's it. Let's move on. We have what we call fungi. The fungi is also a germ, and it causes diseases. And the simpler disease that you can see is that you need to know now is the ringworm. There is ringworm. Ringworm affects our skins. It will destroy your skin. If you have ringworm, it can destroy your skin. I see Manuela's what Manuela is doing. Thank you. Let's continue. We have fungi. Fungi can cause for you to get ringworm. And when we continue in P7, we shall look at that very well. When we look at the human skin in primary 7, we shall know more about those diseases, the fungal disease. I see Pony's hand up, please. What is it? Okay, I think there is nothing. Then lastly, we have protozoa. Protozoa, as simple. So these are the 4 different types of germs that we have been talking about. These are the 4 different types of germs. So I need everyone to know this. Now, when we continue in primary 4, they will introduce a new word. They will use another word called pathogens. Pathogens. They can use the word pathogens. They can use the word pathogens to try to, they can use the word pathogens to mean germs. Use the word pathogens. I'm going to write it in the chat. So if you hear the word pathogens, just know that it is the same as germs. They can say, what are pathogens? So you simply say pathogens are small living organisms that cause diseases. As simple as that. As simple as that. Pathogens are small living organisms that cause diseases. As simple as that. So that is what we intended to look at today. However, we have our questions that we shall be looking at. We have the questions, and the first question is this. I want to Shadrach, read for us that question.
What is fungi? Fungi.
Come again.
What is fungi?
Are you able to see my screen? They see the question very well. Shadrach.
Yes.
Can you read that question that you're seeing?
Pathogens.
No, the one which is on your screen.
On my screen.
Who is trying to destroy?
Let me see.
Someone is destroying our
Let me
screen.
first
Please,
see.
can you
I'm not
remove?
the one who is doing that.
Who is that one? Please remove that very fast. So let's move on. I was asking you to read this question, but you have not read the question that I've given you.
I don't have a question.
You can't see in your screen. Okay, let's move on. Pony, can you read for us that question?
What is sanitation?
Good. What is sanitation? You're going to do it in your books. After copying the notes, you first wait, I'm going to send a work, then you copy those notes, then you do the work. The next question is here. Let me ask Manuela, read for us that one.
Give any 2 ways of promoting sanitation.
Good, we looked at those ways last time. Maybe those who missed that work, but we looked at those ways. Another question is there. You're going to do it. Let me ask him. Joy has kept quiet. Even John is also quiet.
Mention any 2 things used to keep sanitation.
2 things used to keep sanitation. It is the same as saying items used to promote sanitation. I want to see correct answers. And for me, I always like very good handwritings. You can use very good handwriting. Then you can be my friend. Someone can read for us this one. Let me choose. Oh, we have my friend. Answer, please read for us that one.
What are germs?
That is Nathan who has read. I wanted Arthur to read for us that. Yes, Arthur?
What are germs?
What are germs? Correct. Another person who read for us is
types of germs.
Uh,
Identify any two types of germs.
Yes, let me hear from Sherry. Yes, Sherry.
Identify any two types of germs.
Identify any two types of germs. As simple as that. And then the last question is this. Who would like to read for us this? Let me give to who?
Me.
I wanted Pop. Who is Pop? Has not said Pop. Pop. Okay. This Pop is not. Let me give to John. Yes, John.
That any two qualities of a good house.
Say it in a two qualities of a good house. As simple as that. So I will need all those answers written correctly. Written correctly. It's been a wonderful class to be with you guys. Thank you so much for listening and for your active participation. May God bless you.
Teacher, I've not finished the work.
I will send you that work later. I'll send you the work.
Thank you, teacher, for teaching us. Goodbye, teacher.
Not got it.
Thank you, teacher, for teaching us.
Thank you, teacher, for teaching us.
Thank you,
Bye,
teacher.
teacher Ben. Bye, teacher Ben.
Bye, teacher Ben.
Teacher Ben. Bye.
Bye, teacher Ben.
Bye, teacher Ben.
Okay, thank you so much. Thank
Bye,
you.
teacher